everybody, just popping on again today to say a quick hello. And today I'm just going to run through a few hair tips with you, and these are just simple little tricks and tips that you can use at home. I'm sure most of you know them already. They're very random, I have to say. They're not coming in any particular order. I've probably touched on some of them in earlier videos, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but again, they're just simple little things that sometimes, while seem very obvious to us, mightn't be so obvious to you, and we all had to learn. So again, I'm only hoping these little videos are helpful for you. If you'd like to leave a comment below, please do so, or again, if you would like me to cover anything in particular. But for today, I'm just going to quickly run through some hair tips, and what I mean by that is just how to get the best use out of some of your products, and a few little tips and things that you might find that you're doing wrong, or that it would be easier if you did it in a slightly different way. First one I'm going to tip on is using your products sparingly. And again, it sounds so obvious, but ladies, it's the one thing that I find most people where they go wrong. And it goes from using, half a bottle of conditioner on their hair when there's absolutely no need, or again, leaving shampoos in the shower for kids to use. Again, especially anybody using a professional salon product, you know the value of them, you know the consistency, and you know what they actually do. So again, ladies, use it sparingly. It doesn't always need to have that soap cap, the head of foam on the head for a shampoo to work. I've spoke about that before, so I'm not going to dwell on it. But again, it's very true when it comes to something like oils and serums. Especially if you put a lot of time into styling perhaps your hair, and you have this most perfect blow dry, and then at the end you come along with a heavy serum or a heavy oil or just a lot of a particular product, put it down on it, and it almost looks as if the hair needs to be shampooed again. So again, ladies, all products used sparingly. If it's a thing that you're using, say, some of the gels or the fibrous products, for styling products especially, clap it out over your head, and what it does is enough fibres comes onto the palm of your hand, down onto the hair, wash the hands rather than shampooing the hands, or give them a wipe with a tissue or whatever else, and then work what's left onto the hair. You don't need to put all this big dollop of everything onto the hair to style it. A little and often, ladies, that's probably the best advice I can give you. And as I said, use sparingly. Hairspray, another one of the ones, very much a love-hate relationship with hairspray. Some people can't live without it, some people can't bear it. They've changed so much over the years, all the hairsprays. No hairspray now is sticky or, hard. They're all flexible, they're pliable, they're invisible, and they do brush out. Quite easy to remove, especially if you have a clarifying shampoo. But even if you haven't, they're not the hardest thing in the world to get rid of. Things to remember: hold the aerosol at the right distance away from the head. Do not target it in up the scalp. Even if you do want root lift and you're going to lift and spray it in, don't put it in here. Spray it out a little bit. Don't hold it. Don't hold it way out here either, because now you're globally misting it all over the place, and you don't need that either. So, ladies, again, just yourself, about that distance away from the head, and use sparingly. If it's a thing that you're not a lover of hairspray, but you do have sometimes in upstyles especially, or indeed with even say sleek blow dries, if you have a few flyaways, a great little tip is to actually get your hairbrush, mist the hairbrush, then take the hairbrush to deposit that light little film of spray onto the hair. And it's great because it just gives that little bit of hold, and yet it hasn't that structured look that most people, if you're not a hairspray lover, most people would prefer it more casual. So again, ladies, spray your brush. Do give your brush a shampoo afterwards, because again, you don't want it sticky and attracting particles and all that. So, but you'll know yourself how to go with that. So that's just a handy little one on hairspray. Again, with the root concealer sprays, and I've actually spoken about that in previous videos, when you put them on, leave them set for a second, then spray a very light hairspray over it, and it sets them, and it stops some of that chalkiness or the colour deposits coming off. Just sets them a little bit. So not a bad little tip either. Again, on your root sprays and indeed colour mousses or any form of temporary options that you're using at the moment, good little tip there is apply them with a brush. Not so much the spray root ones. Again, as I said to you, measure the can on your head, hold it away and spray it on just onto the parting or where it's grey. But if you can, especially with mousse products or water rinses or any of the semi-permanents, try and dab them into the hair on the brush, and again, really only put them where you need it. You don't need to do all this global colour at the moment, and it will last longer for you in, you know, insofar as the product will go further at the moment, because a lot of these things are getting scarce. Another little tip that we have sometimes, again, it's not something we would do, it's purely emergency, but if you have nothing and you have, say, very white roots and you are happen to go somewhere, I don't know where you're going, but if you are, one of the things at the moment you could do is actually a little bit of eyeshadow or a little bit of a brow palette. Use that, you know, to try and match, especially with darker hair. It works quite well. Just work it through the hair. Again, it's not ideal. Again, set it with a bit of hairspray, but it might get you out of you know, something at the moment. It's not too bad. Another quick one, ponytails. We all love ponytails at the moment, everybody, you know, especially in the warmer weather. One of the things you have to remember, try and, you know, place them in different places on the head. And that sounds really ludicrous, and, you know, you'd imagine kind of, we all head for the same spot. We're all inclined to tie it into the one spot. Again, if you have, you know, any form of temporary hair loss, or indeed, you know, post-pregnancy or menopause, or you feel it's thinning a little bit, ponytails aren't ideal, and any kind of tension on the scalp isn't good. You know, it's the same with, you know, years ago tight rollers would have done the same thing, you know, and pins. You need to, you know, keep it stress free. So if you are going to catch something, just catch it low, catch it loose, and, you know, it will be fine. But again, ladies, do not do this pull severely tightly back. I know it can give you a facelift on the younger and, you know, it can, but at the same time it's not good, you know, certainly not on a regular basis. So again, and that is a little tip, by the way, that if you are, you know, if you have pulled quite tightly, it does lift everything, so it can be quite flattering. Short hair, long hair, how do you know what suits you? Another little tip that's John Fried, I think, actually discovered it, and maybe I'm wrong there, but anyway, one of them anyway, the new thing now is the 2 1/4 inch rule, or the 2.25 inch rule. And what it is you get a ruler and you get a pencil and you measure from your earlobe to here, and if it's longer, greater than 2 1/4 inches, then it's probably not going to suit your short hair. But if it's more, then it will. So again, just a little tip. So again, ruler under here and measure the distance between one and the other. So it's just something just to bear in mind. Simple. I don't know, is it always going to work, but look, you can try it. What else can I tell you? Fringes. Shampoo your fringe. Very easy. Sounds very easy, and I do this all the time myself, I have to say. And I mean, I would shampoo my hair most days, especially when I'm working, I would. But sometimes for Saturday morning, I do the hair going to work, and, you know, you have a hectic day and you come home and you're maybe heading out. I'm popping into the shower, and what I do is, sometimes I would just don't want to go through the whole thing of doing the hair all over again. So the hair goes up into, in my case, I use a silicone swimming cap. I actually find it far better than a shower cap, because it controls my hair, and I have one for long hair, and, you know, any of you know that I'm a swimmer anyway. But so the swimming cap goes on, and I leave out the fringe and I shampoo just the fringe. Instantly it refreshes the whole look. You know, you're there, everything looks much better. And it's great too with a ponytail, for instance. Because, you know, it just gives a whole fresher look. You feel better, you've taken the makeup, you've taken, you know, residue away from it, and it's the one place that can let you down, because you're normally, you know, at your fringe a lot, or for different reasons. But that's a good tip. Or for second day hair, always shampoo your fringe. Going back to the ponytails, when you actually, a good little trick as well is when you take back your hair to actually hold it, to wrap it with your band, just remove one section and leave it out. So then you're going to just leave one piece out, and what you're going to do then is band the rest of the hair, I guess, again, not too tightly. Take then what you've left out and wrap it, and what you do there is you're concealing the band, but you're also giving a very chic looking ponytail, and it looks as if you've spent ages getting an up style, but in actual fact, it's, you know, it takes that gym pony look away from it. So it is good. It's a good little tip at the moment. So that's just something to bear in mind. What else can I tell you? Clips, grips. Again, spray them if you want a little bit of extra hold on your clip, or for putting into an up style, or spray them down with a little bit of hairspray or a little bit of dry shampoo, but hairspray ideally. A lot of people go wrong insofar as I find that they hold the clip upside down. So now you have your flat clip with your little wavy side on it. The wavy side, ladies, goes underneath. So that goes down and grips the hair, not the flat side. And that's one thing that I notice a lot of people go wrong with. So again, just, you know, take it down. At the moment, hairbands, zigzag partings, Any kind of root lift away are all your best friend. I know everybody's not into a hairband look, but for going around at home, look, it conceals the roots. A mock fringe is a good idea as well. You know, part your hair perhaps in a different place, take it lower, sweep it across perhaps, take it in, you know, hold and pin it in underneath here perhaps, and take it down. A wide French braid, if any of you are able to do it, open it out, and by opening it out, it actually sits on the hair, and now it hides the roots, and it does, you know, keep it messy, and it looks far better. That's more applicable to any of you going to work at the moment. So, you know, there are a lot of people out there still going to work. Anything else, ladies, come back to me. Again, you know, we're not in a position to take appointments at the moment, as I explained. We still have no guidance from HSA or HSE. I know that hair isn't top priority at the moment, but it was the most asked question on Google last weekend, I believe, for Google Ireland after Leo's latest update. So I know you're all anxious, and I am getting a huge amount of requests for appointments, but to be honest, it would be reckless of me to take appointments when, you know, we can't promise something that we know at the minute we can't deliver until such a time we know how many clients we can have in at the one time visitors in the salon. In the meantime, ladies, stay safe, and I'll chat to you next week. Take care. Bye bye.